Okay, let's discuss the near 13-hour extravaganza that was SummerSlam. Pre-show matches, of course, one was a rematch from Raw, which was the first out of the best of 7 series between Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus getting the victory. These two guys work well, and it allows them to do their workhorse match to lead to something. It also gives them filler between now and the next pay-per-view to have be your final match. So, overall not bad. Your second pre-show match was the 6-on-6 match that was a rematch from SmackDown. Again, not a bad match. Got everyone to showcase their talents. It was a nothing match. Sami Zayn and Neville versus the Dudleys was a match that we should have had on Raw, but instead they had Sin Cara and Neville. I think they're teasing the break of the Dudleys because, their tag division is so strong on Raw that you can break up the Dudleys. So the show finally begins with Jericho versus Enzo and Big Cass. Lots of beat on Enzo. He played the face in peril a tremendous amount. Tagging the Cass, class cleaning house. But the wily veteran's too much for him. They mistimed it a little bit. The pop-up into a code breaker. I mean, they're like a quarter second off, but that move seems like it's near impossible to pull off perfectly. But, yeah, the pop-up, shooting him over Kevin Owens, having Jared catch him in midair, catch Enzo in midair, beautiful. I thought it was a good way to make those two veterans out to be a really solid team. But also means it was the 2 times that you had 2 kind of thrown together guys be the guys to beat legitimate teams. But, you know what? Solid match, good opener. Now we go into Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the title. The match I had on Raw was amazing. This match, I think Sasha got her bell rung pretty early on in this match. From that point on, they just were entirely out of sync. This is a dangerous thing with the way Sasha wrestles. She needs to pull back a little bit. I know she's a fan of Daniel Bryan. She's a fan of Edge, Eddie Guerrero. If she pulls back a little bit, instead of going all out at all times, she's going to have a much longer career. The ending was weird. It was a bank statement into like a pseudo-half roll-up by Charlotte. So she outsmarted Sasha Banks and got the victory. So Charlotte's champion again. Shocking moment, but I think Sasha might have tweaked herself. But it definitely took the crowd kind of out of the event a little bit. Then they went into Miz Apollo Crews, which had a really weird spot on the card. Miz does some phenomenal heel work. They actually did show, here's reason for this match. Which, of course, was a commercial break segment on SmackDown. Their match was pretty decent. Miz does a good job as a heel. The announcers got over the athleticism of Apollo Crews. Maurice got involved, which led to a sneaky heel victory. Seen a pattern here? Seen a pattern? That's 3 in a row. 3 times the heels have been victorious. I will skip the true main event happened in the middle of the match, but middle of the card, of course, AJ Styles, John Cena. The big belt, the WWE World Championship match between Ambrose and Ziggler was okay. I think it's fact these two guys have had a lot of good interactions, but it's hard to build up a solid match in 2 weeks. Also, odd placement in the card too, because it wasn't a main event, because they still had. They had 3 matches. They had 4 matches after the title match. Ambrose retained after a block off a face crusher off the top rope and with dirty deeds. Okay. The psychology match worked pretty well. Hoping it's not a one-off, because I think if they were to do this again at Backlash, there might be enough additional storyline to it to actually make the storyline fit the match and the match have a better overall feel to it. I mean, the 2 guys, they work well together. They've got history because they feuded over, I think, the IC and the US title. So they've got that history. They just didn't seem to bring that in. But they only had, 6 hours of television to make this match. Actually, no, 4. 4, because they did the match where he became the number contender 1 week, and then they did 2 weeks afterwards. So it's hard to build in a good, solid storyline and background in 2 events. Just saying. The women's tag match. Faces come out first. Okay, not bad. Heels come out next. Ava Marie, they cut the whole promo thing. Like, oh, she's exhausted. She's taking a vacation. But then they have who else shows up. Nikki Bella shows up to a raucous group. It's like, all right. Well, we know the end of this match now. It's like, well, we know Becky's not winning this match. Probably not losing. It means Nikki's going to get the pinfall. And her finisher now is the TKO. This match, Becky Lynch was pretty much the whole face team. Carmella played face in peril. Naomi got some good shots here and there. They really didn't develop a lot with Alexa Bliss. You can tell that once Nikki showed up, it was like, this is the Nikki showcase match. To be like, she's back, she's on SmackDown. Nice character moment. Becky is working on over Natalya. Alexa Bliss comes in, and then she goes, oh, no, you don't, and then throws her out of the ring. So Becky did a great job in this match. Phenomenal job in this match. But since Nikki came back, he's like, oh, well, will Nikki get a lot of stuff in the ring? Not really. She had a lot of offense, some signature moves, but not a tremendous amount of offense. It's a problem with the 3-on-3 match. Everyone's going to get a little bit. But Bella Hammer, TKO, 1, 2, 3. Nikki pins Carmella. Okay, that match was a match. I'm going to skip the Universal title match because that actually became before the Rusev Roman Reigns US title match. And I know I've already skipped the New Day, the club bit, but I'll get to that. Rusev is like, I'm going to destroy Roman Reigns. They do the post-match beatdown. Reigns starts getting over and starts beating on to Rusev, hits him with the chair, and the match does not start. This was the number 2 main event, does not start because of injury. Alright. Kind of a letdown match. Jon Stewart comes down after the John Cena AJ Styles match. Talks about how good no one can hit him with the chair. And it wasn't that good. And he's like, well, since Biggie's not here, I'm a member of the New Day. He did the, oh, don't you dare be sour. So now we get New Day, the club. Solid tag team, because you had the 2 faster guys on one side for the New Day. And the 2 just beat you down guys. Jon Stewart gets involved every now and then towards the end to stop the pinfall. But then Big E comes down and attacks him, leading to a DQ. Okay, it's good. We're going to see a full force New Day taking on the club. And the New Day is now champions for over a year. Okay. Wasn't quite the finale that we were hoping for, but you know what? It allows them to push it to Clash of Champions. But again, heels win. Then the 3 matches I haven't discussed yet. Are you getting tired? You can tell by now the crowd is dead throughout half of these matches. the Universal Championship match. That title is just red. Think of the women's title. Now take the white and make it red. So it's just a giant red title. Balor comes out as the Demon, tries to finish Seth early. Doesn't happen. These two guys should have put on an absolutely phenomenal match. What they put on is a good match. I was expecting for the first, here's your big debut of Finn Balor as the Demon. This is the one that's going to solidify who he is, what he's about, what the Demon means. And they put on a nice, hard-hitting match that was good. But it wasn't as great. These two guys are highly athletic. This match should have been amazing. I don't know if they were handcuffs when it came to doing their match layout. But it was missing that something. And also, too, the crowd is dead through half of this match. I think that really took away from it. Because the crowd, after they hit John Cena AJ Styles, the crowd was done. And a crowd that's complacent, and two guys who are trying to get the crowd back into it, and they're just not. Because it's just not gelling as good as it should have. There's some great moves that Rollins hit. Like the small package driver was beautiful. But I think the crowd was just done. You know, there were so many matches. It was just so hard to keep the crowd energized and motivated this whole time. Finish the sequence after we see a superplex into a roll through into a near pedigree, which I thought would have been a beautiful ending to it. It was the shotgun dropkick into the turnbuckle. Seth staggers, shot him in the other turnbuckle. Seth staggers, and the third turnbuckle, and then all of a sudden it's coup de grace. I'm like, all right, 1, 2, 3, okay. I do think Finn Balor does need another finish move than the Demon. I like 1916. We can't call it Bloody Sunday anymore. I like that. It's a nice move. I love the coup de grace, but it feels like he needs that one additional move. That one move that sets the Demon apart from regular Finn Balor. So, good match. That's just a good match. Lesnar-Orton is your main event. Lesnar just brutalizes Orton. Orton's an RKO on the outside on one of the tables. Gets a couple spots in. Tries to go for a punt. Doesn't happen. Eats an F5. Kicks out. And then Lesnar just mounts him, just grounds and pounds him. Elbows. It's hard to tell if they split open the hard way or not. Because all of a sudden it's like, oh, is Orton bleeding? Like, he probably cut himself. But he has to bust open the hard way. But you just see there's a pool underneath Randy's head. It's like, oh, okay. How are we going to end this pay-per-view? Because Randy looks messed up. Do some more beatdown while, medical staff's putting what looks like a blood sponge on his head. And I'm like, oh, this is a really tweaked ending. If it's an accident, man, that's horrible. If it was the way they wanted to end it, that's horrible. Shane comes down to try to, prevent Orton from getting beaten down more. Takes an F5, and then kind of pops up and looks at him. And I was like, I don't want to see Shane, Brock Lesnar. Maybe they'll suspend Brock Lesnar for, 90 days or whatever. And I was like, okay. We're going to fade to black. Oh. What? Hopefully that wasn't the plan, and it sounds basically hopefully that Orton got injured, but it's horrible that he got injured, but it made no sense. It's not the true main event. John Cena, AJ Styles put on a clinic. Styles Clash is being kicked out on. Avalanche AAs, that's the top rope AA, which no one's kicked out so far for John Cena, gets kicked out on. Calf crushers, STFs, crossfaces. This match was everything it was billed to be and more. Beautiful match. Take nothing away from two of the absolute top guys in the industry. Go out to put on a great match. How good this match was, for the SmackDown brand, Raw should have matched that in the Finn Balor Rollins match. They should have. I don't know if just Finn Balor and Rollins, they hadn't worked together enough to fully mesh their styles, but Styles Cena was dang near perfect. Finish, saw a Styles clash, AJ go to the outside, phenomenal forearm, 1, 2, 3, center of the ring. What? And then John Cena taking off the Never Give Up band, leaving it in the ring and walking away. Perfect. Perfect. That should have been the main event. They should have ended it with the SmackDown match. They should have said, all right, Orton, Lesnar, we're putting you guys here. You know, had they done that match, which would have been brutal, then if they get up there, like, you know, Orton's been taken to a local medical hospital. You know, Lesnar's just absolute beast, and he's phenomenal. He's just monster. Had you gone from that, ended with Cena, AJ Styles, I think the crowd would have gone from being taken out of it from the previous couple of matches to be brought in for this big, heavy main event. Who's the face of SmackDown? Who's the guys that are going on to challenge Dean Ambrose for the title? And that would have been a phenomenal way to have ended that pay-per-view. No pun intended, AJ Styles victorious. But, man, we do not need a 4-hour SummerSlam with like a 2-hour pre-show. No, we don't.